Hey guys, it's week 27 on Wegovy, and I've got a crazy busy week this week prepping for Nikki's baby shower on Saturday, so I tried to keep meals pretty low maintenance. This week I'm going to be making lemon blueberry buttermilk sheet pan pancakes, that's a mouthful, Chinese chicken salad, garlic butter steak and potatoes, and some pineapple chicken and rice. The recipes, as always, will be linked down in the description, but if you'd like a detailed calorie and macro breakdown of everything I ate this week, check out the description and I'll put a link to my MyFitnessPal profile where you can view my food diary. If these recipes sound good to you, be sure to give the video a like. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get cooking. All right, so we're going to start these blueberry lemon sheet pan pancakes. We're going to need some unbleached white flour. The recipe calls for white whole wheat flour, which I don't have, but I do have some whole wheat flour. Some low-fat buttermilk, blueberries, a lemon, kosher salt. You can use regular salt. It'll just need a little bit less than the recipe calls for. Some eggs, butter, baking powder, baking soda, sugar, and of course some vanilla. I normally use real vanilla, but I have this left from a project that I did, so we need to get it used up. And when I did research, they said if you're cooking it, it pretty much tastes the same. So let's get started.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I don't know what I'd do without you. You make me smile, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon is the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do.
Just gonna try out these blueberry sheet pan pancakes. I didn't use any butter because I've noticed that with like stuff like this, I don't really notice a difference, much of a difference. I mean, obviously there's some, but not enough of a difference for the amount of calories that are in the butter. So I just take a little thing of maple syrup and I just put it on the side and I dip it in it, and I feel like it tastes more maple syrupy that way than if I just pour it over it and it soaks in. So anyway, just a little tip. And I always use real maple syrup because I can't stand pancake syrup. So anyway, let's give this a try. So it's kind of like the texture is more like a muffin than a pancake, but I think that's my fault. So the recipe called for white whole wheat flour. I don't have any white whole wheat flour. I just had regular whole wheat flour, and it made it really dense, like she hefty. which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not fluffy like a pancake, if that makes sense. So if that's not a texture that you love, I would either just use all white flour or make sure you have the white whole wheat flour. But the flavor is good. The lemon really comes through because of the zest, for sure. It's plenty sweet enough with the maple syrup. Without the maple syrup, it's not very sweet at all. So if you're not a huge fan of like overly sweet desserts, or excuse me, breakfasts, this is a good one for you. It was so easy to throw together. And I mean, now my breakfast is prepped for the whole week. I just cut it up. The recipe is 8 servings. It says to cut it up into 16 pieces. I just cut it up into 8 because it's just easier. And then I cut each 8 into half. So, I mean, literally I just warmed everything up in the microwave this morning while I was waiting for my semaglutide to dissolve. So super simple. If you're a person that has to go to work, or you know, you don't have a lot of time in the mornings, and so you end up not eating breakfast or something like that, this is a great one to prep. It took probably less than 5 minutes for me to throw it together, and then this morning it took maybe 2 minutes for me to warm it up and then shove it in my face. So give this one a try, guys. It's the lemon makes it really, really fresh, and I'm surprised I actually like the fresh blueberries. I don't normally like fresh blueberries in things, so they got a chance to cook down enough that they're nice and sweet and jammy. So that's a good one, guys. Give it a try. All right, I'm gonna throw together the dressing for this Chinese chicken salad. I have some ginger. I always keep mine in the freezer because it makes it way easier to grate. Some fresh garlic, soy sauce. This is avocado oil. The recipe called for olive oil, but I'm not a big fan of the flavor of olive oil. So some sesame oil, some rice vinegar, and some honey. Let's throw this together. So if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that certain ingredients are just easier to weigh. Honey is a pain in the butt to get out of measuring devices, so I'm just going to measure. Recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, which is 42 grams of my honey. So I'm going to do a slow drizzle until we get to 42 grams here. And 42. There we go. All right, now we're going to do 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. 2 tablespoons of soy. Recipe called for low sodium. All I have is this Korean soy sauce. It's going to be just fine. If I need to, I can put a little water in it. 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, which is a little less than a tablespoon. Come on, friend. Okay. And then 3 tablespoons of avocado oil or olive oil, whichever you prefer. And that, my friends, is our dressing. Okay. So I have this little Pampered Chef Do Hickey Mabobber, and it has a little plunger in it that you can use to kind of, oops, I didn't have it screwed in tight enough. This has happened before. Please hold, technical difficulty. Okay, we have rescued our plunger, and hopefully we'll be able to keep it here. Basically, I'm just mixing it up. You can just put this in a mason jar, but this just kind of mixes it for me. And I'm going to just let this sit in my fridge and get to know one another. And then I'll taste it at some point just to make sure that it doesn't need any, like it doesn't need to be thinned down or anything like that. And that's it. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna, the recipe for the Chinese chicken salad calls for 2 cups of shredded chicken. So I have a little over 3/4 of a pound of chicken breast here, and I'm just gonna marinate it for a little bit to give it some flavor before I cook it. You could just use rotisserie chicken, that's what she used in the recipe, but I'm gonna do some soy sauce. This is some Shaoxing rice wine. Again, you don't need to do all this if you don't have these ingredients in your cupboard. Don't feel the need to go out and buy them just to do this. Rotisserie chicken will work just fine. I just happen to have a bunch of Asian ingredients in my cupboard, so that's what I'm doing. This is some mirin. And I'm probably using maybe a half a teaspoon of each of these things. Some rice vinegar. Some white pepper. That was probably like 1/8 of a teaspoon, so just sprinkling it over. And some sesame oil. Just a little. I'm going to put a little bit more soy sauce in there because I did not use very much. That's really my only source of salt in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss this chicken around in this marinade and just kind of let it hang out for a little while in the fridge, like probably, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. All right, guys, I changed my mind on the chicken. I decided rather than roasting it or baking it, I'm going to just poach it, because then that way I can include the marinade in the poaching liquid, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more flavor in there. So I have my chicken, my poaching liquid, and I decided I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic powder, which I can't believe I forgot that in the marinade, but it's all right, and onion powder. Oops. Probably shook that over a steaming pot at some point. It's got a little bit of moisture in it. It's kind of caking together. And then because we're going to be adding a bunch of water, I am going to add a little bit more salt to this. Okay. And then we're going to cover the chicken with water. Oops. I am making a mess. That was a very large chicken breast. It was almost a pound, so it took about 4 cups of water for me in this pot, but you just want it to be covered. And you're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to reduce it to a simmer and let it cook for anywhere from 8 to 16 minutes until it reads 165 on the inside. It'll just depend on your stove, etc. Okay, so I've kind of been doing some prep off camera. So this is romaine lettuce, some coleslaw blend that had shredded cabbage and carrots and stuff like that, green onions, cilantro, and this is some shredded white and red cabbage. The recipe called for Napa cabbage, but it only needed a couple of cups, and Napa cabbage heads are giant, so I just used plain white cabbage. I'm going to mix all of this together, and then I'm going to put a little bit in a bowl with some mandarin oranges and some toasted almonds and some chicken, and I'm going to shove this in my face because I am a hungry hippo. All right. All right, let's try this salad. Trying to get a little bit of everything on here, which is not the easiest thing to do. It's really tasty. So the dressing is really potent, but there's not a ton of it, so it is slightly bland, but you could definitely just add more dressing. That would definitely up the calorie count. It's not super high calorie to begin with, so it's not like that would be the end of the world, but I think it's fine just as is. It's really good. I will say, spending all that time and energy marinating that chicken, not worth it. If you're going to poach it, just poach it as is. And then if you want to add some flavor to it, just add a little bit of that marinade into the shredded chicken after it's cooked. And that'll give it a lot more flavor than spending the time to try and marinate it if you're just going to boil it in water anyway. So this was good. I liked it a lot, and it's going to be really easy for lunches this week because everything's already pulled together. I just have to throw it in a bowl. Good. Give it a try. All right, we're going to make this garlic butter steak and potatoes. Need salt, pepper, crushed red pepper flake, thyme, oregano, and rosemary if you like it. I don't. Also, they call for fresh herbs for these. Yeah, I didn't. I'm good. Soy sauce, garlic, butter, avocado oil. The recipe called for 1.5 pounds of baby potatoes. I can't bring myself to pay $4 for 1.5 pounds of potatoes. So I got white potatoes because they are the lowest calorie potato. I also got some sirloin steak. Recipe called for flank steak or whatever kind of steak, and this is what was on sale. And then also some sriracha. So let's throw this together.
across the room. When our eyes met, I never knew that I could feel this way, and it's kinda strange. Don't even know your name. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. You say that you're from out of town. I'm hoping that you stick around. Show me what it's like from the other side. Would you stay another night? 'Cause I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I think I've waited all these years for you right here. But how will I ever know if you go? 'Cause I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you.
All right, let's taste these steak and taters. It's good flavor. I wish I had listened to my intuition in terms of how these were cooked, because it told me to cut them up into slices, and I was worried about it getting overcooked. And it definitely is for us. Like, we like our steak rare. So, I mean, it's not like leathery or super dry or anything, but I would definitely prefer it not as well done. But I had to cook it that long just to get it not soupy from the marinade. So I would recommend marinating the steaks whole and then cutting them up after you cook them. I think that that would be better if you like your steak more rare. If you like it more well done, this is fine. But quite tasty. I did definitely cook the potatoes differently than they said, because I didn't want to pan fry them. You saw I did them in the air fryer, and they are delicious. The recipe didn't call to salt the potatoes. I salted the potatoes, you saw. But anyway, this is really delicious. Yummy flavor profile. A couple of the reviews said that it was really spicy. I mean, it's got a little bit of spice, but it's not that spicy, but we have a pretty high tolerance. So anyway, I would give this one a shot if you're a steak and potatoes kind of person. It's very good. All right, just getting ready to put together this pineapple chicken and rice. We're gonna need some boneless, skinless chicken breast, some honey, oil. I'm using avocado, some thyme, pineapple, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, some garlic, and cornstarch. And then you're gonna need 4 servings of rice. I'm using jasmine, which I have cooking in my rice cooker. All right, so we're gonna start searing this chicken. And we're going to cut it with the salt, pepper, and thyme. All right, so now we're gonna add the juice from our pineapple, honey, Dijon, and our garlic to the pan. Oh, yum. I have a feeling I'm gonna wish that I had caramelized the pineapple in here first, but we'll leave it be. I'm going to kind of move these around so I can pick up some of the drippings from that chicken and that sauce. We did reserve 2 ounces of the pineapple juice to stir in with the cornstarch so that we can thicken this sauce a little bit later. All right, I'm going to put a lid on this and let it simmer for 15 minutes. All right. Well, I'll tell you that doesn't smell bad. I'm just going to temp these and make sure that they're cooked all the way. This is the thickest one. Oops. And we are very much cooked. Past even. Okay. I'm going to remove these chicken breasts to a plate and let them rest for a minute. I'm going to turn this up to bring it to a boil. And once this is back up to a boil, then I'm going to add our cornstarch slurry. Got that remaining 2 ounces of pineapple juice with a tablespoon of cornstarch. And we're going to let that boil for about 2 minutes so we can get it good and thick. Alright, and I'm doing things a little out of order here because my chicken is very, very cooked. So I'm going to add the pineapples back in before the chicken because I don't want my chicken cooking any longer than is expressly necessary. Like I said, I kind of wish I had browned these and let them caramelize a little before, but the recipe didn't call for that. And I try to kind of sort of at least follow recipes the first time I make them, but you know how I do. Alright, I'm going to turn this way, way down. That sauce looks good and thick to me. And I'm going to move all these pineapples over to one side. And slide this chicken back in so we can get it good and coated in that sauce. And then we are ready to eat. Make sure you add all the resting juices from that chicken back to the pan. Taste this pineapple chicken. Oh, very good. So I made a mango salsa to put over the top, and that's really yummy. But it's good all on its own. The chicken is super tender. I steamed up some snow peas, but I did them in my rice cooker, so they got really overcooked. They still taste good though, but this was really easy and super tasty. You should definitely give that a shot.
All right, guys, that's it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and let me know in the comments which of the recipes you're planning to try. I post cooking and weight loss videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see how much weight I lost eating these delicious recipes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.